So, all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is March 19th, Tuesday. Uh, I'll go over materials with my body cord. Uh, love the stuff. You could use it for tying flies or indicators. Some really neat stuff. So I'll kind of show you an indicator and a fly pattern real quick with it. Kind of discuss some things going up, and I'll probably do email first. So again, I put, the different things you could do with body cord, put some ingredients out there. Fishing outing. This is where I need your guys' help. Uh, weather is getting nice. It was, I think, 70 this afternoon. So warmer weather's around the corner. Still a little chilly in the morning. Trout parks are open. Roger's already catching what 13-inch crappie out there. So we need to get fishing. I know we were kind of busy with rod building in February, but we're pushing through March already. Give me some input on something you want to go do. We could hit Lane Spring if we want to hit Merrimack, or even just any of the parks around here. I'm okay with that. I think I was talking to Dave Witt yesterday, and he took one of his friends that he hasn't seen in a while fishing the Susan. They're like, yeah, let's just go, mess with some bluegill and all that. But then they still ended up catching a couple trout. So what I thought would have been picked off already, I guess there's still some trout out there. So we could go, maybe try to pick one of those like that had trout and then maybe get lucky. So again, if there's something you want to go do, bush wildlife or anything, let me know, because we need to get fishing. We've been cooped up. I know a lot of people have been sick, colds and everything, and some COVID. So we need to get out, get some vitamin D. So if there's something you really want to do, please let me know. In person, we're still doing JB every Monday. I still kind of leave Ken and Walt as the leads to do that, but I see a lot of faces here right now. We have a lot of people that show up and help out. It's always on Mondays from 6 to 7 at the Building 54 gym. Try to arrive at 5:30 to kind of set up. I got there actually a little bit early yesterday, and I think I was there at like 5:15 and just about had everything set up by the time Ken and Walt showed up. But we had a good event yesterday. All 4 tables were pretty much full. So I think we had maybe around 12
Maybe about,
participants.
I didn't go, but it's you got 16 tables, 16 chairs, and there's 4 of you tying. It's
So about 12 for sure. We had, all the tables were full. So I know since we started this year, Ken's already said we're over 100 participants have sat down at our tables to tie. And so a couple of them are very interested. Once they are released out of JB, we might be hearing from them, and they're good guys. So I'm hoping to hear from them. Again, Frank, thank you for hosting us at American Legion Post 208. We just had a recent one. Had a good time with that and talk about some new guys. We had Dave Matrano, who we see once in a while. He's kind of new. And he brought someone with him, and we had hoping Robert shows up. I sent him an email with everything. And if I don't see him tonight, I'm going to reach out to him anyway. But so we had 3 relatively new guys show up to the American Legion tie. We had a good time. So thanks again for all your help with that, Frank. And he'll start looking for dates in April. We'll have to just kind of remember we have the Bennett Springs veterans thing going on, so we just got to watch that date. Fly rod building lessons. We did one already. It's usually February, but I'm always open to do a second one, maybe in third quarter. we have a lot of volunteers and that would probably like to do that too. So if we want to have another event where we could, then it's like, if you want to do it, let us know, and we'll get a big group. And if we need to get a big hall or something like that, we will. But I want to open, make sure we're opening this up to our volunteers as well. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran or not, but if you're associated with St. Louis Project Healing Waters, I want to open that up if you want to build a rod. And, that's kind of a fun time. It's almost like our American Legion fly tying on Saturdays or Sundays. Spend a couple hours just kind of chatting. Most of us have done this before, so it's just kind of sitting, chatting, seeing what everyone else is doing, and then gives us an excuse to get together and build some rods.
Got a little bit of an odd thing. I was talking with Walt. He had built a rod, probably talked to you, where he had auctioned it off to Quail Unlimited or whatever and got like $500.
Yeah.
And they were interested in more. So it would be a different kind of thing, whether or not people just enjoy building a rod. If we built a few, so next year when he does that, it could be auctioned off as a rod built by a Project Healing Waters person, and then turn the money back into the program to use, for whatever materials, outings and that stuff. It'd be another way versus just straight out asking for money to.
Yeah. And we got Carl. He just built one, because he was building one as a demonstration for our participants. But as he was going along, he was completing a rod. So now he's got a complete rod that we could, try to auction off as well. So I definitely have to get with Walt on that, because that's hey, doing late, good way to get some budgets in. Good news is
what's the next step? You grab one of those, put the legs inside, and then put it into.
I need to view someone if they got a TV going on. But
That might be me.
So,
oh,
hey, Mick, we did that in the Fort Drum program. We didn't get $500, but we would build an extra rod with the rod building and then auction it. And something else, if that's an avenue we want to go, we could always, as a group, fill up some fly boxes and auction off fly boxes too.
and we did that with Fishers at the Crossing. And we are getting that check. So the cool thing is it's always this time of year. Fishers at the Crossing has a big dinner event, and whatever they make, they split it 4 ways to help for non-for-profit groups. We are one of them. Mayfly is one. And so we're getting a check for $6,500. So things that I want to do with that money. If you've been to JB, we've got an old TV cart. If you remember when we were in grammar school, it was always a great day when you'd walk into class and there'd be the TV and then the VCR on the. That's what we have for our materials at JB. So it was cool to see when I was 8, but a little bit now it's like, yeah, it's really not working for us. So I'm going to try to talk with Kurt first and just kind of make sure I don't get something so big we don't have a place to store it, but get an idea on what size we could get. I won't get anything like, was it Snap-on or something like that? That's going to cost a car payment. I get a discount from Harbor Freight because I'm part of their in club or something like that. And they've got decent tool chests that we could use, and that way
you might ask them too, Mick, if they'll give you a discount for Project Water. We did that in Alabama with Lowe's. So,
and I'll go around that, see if they could do that. That's so we'll do that. The other thing I want to do is, I know a lot of people aren't thrilled with the new logo, but guess what? I think we need some t-shirts. We haven't had t-shirts in a long time. I want to try to get t-shirts that are actually kind of, comfortable and feel light. Some of the things that we've had in the past, I swear they were made out of like burlap bags. They were just so thick. So I want get us some shirts. It'll just be t-shirts, with probably a small logo up front, and then maybe a bigger one or something. I'll just see what's available, but I just want to get us some shirts. It's got the new logo, get us some hats and all that. So again, we have a chunk of money. I want to make sure we're using it and taking care of everyone. But I don't want to go crazy with it either. So I think shirts and hats would be good. So what you got, Terry?
Use the old logo.
Use the old logo. And if you guys want that, I'm absolutely fine with that too. So it's the old logo is still my favorite. I just kind of like the whimsical font. It just seemed fun and it was different. I like the fish was jumping, so it was full of life. It was just like, this thing is just full of life. Behind the fish was a sun. So no matter how dark you think it is, the sun will always rise tomorrow. So I always thought it was really neat how they had it instead of just a fish now. So
A dead fish.
A dead fish. That's what it looks like right before I put it on the grill. What you got, Walt?
Hey, I just got back from Get Bent.
Yeah.
And Tommy he's got a new order in. So he's going to be getting some more real seats in and different things. So basically, if you guys are interested, get with Tommy and he'll give you a good deal on it.
Yep. And we were just talking about that before he came in. Yeah, we did the rod build in February, but I'm going to open up to maybe October, November, probably like maybe the first couple of weeks of November, and see if anyone wants to build rods or anything like that.
That would probably work out good because the 31st is when parks close.
Yeah, the October 31st. That's why I was kind of thinking about that. That's always kind of a fun day to, close out the season. And then there's a cool down anyway if you want to do a catch and release. So maybe that'll be a good time right up into Thanksgiving time. So that we'll do that. So got where I was before we went back to that. Oh, but the shirts and stuff with the logo. So, we'll get some shirts, logo. We've got a lot of, money. We could even probably do some hoodies or something like that as well. So
That'd be great.
yeah. So that's what I want to kind of focus on. Install something that won't be vices or anything like that, but just enough to kind of take care of the group. What else is going on? So fly tying equipment, I still have some materials in storage. I'm hoping next time I go visit Mr. Tom Hargrove, usually I get some stuff in there. I do have some stuff. Think I will bring it out to Bennett in April. So again, you guys have a crack at it, but the other programs are going to show up. They're bringing stuff too. So we're not opening it up to the public as we did in the past. It's just for Project Healing Waters. So if you guys need anything, they will be out there and we'll be sharing stuff. So what else? Casting lessons, we could always do that. Weather's getting good. We could try to do casting if we want. I know Roger is our casting instructor. Hopefully, like I said, I get my CCI in a year or so and I could help out. But if anyone really wants to get some lessons, and we could do that as well. We could find a park. I think we did it at Susan before, where we did some casting, did some lessons. We all got to get some practice, and then towards the end of the day, we just walked over to the lake and did some fishing. So get some lines wet after a good day of lessons. We could always pick a day for that if somebody wants to do that. I know even Walt has said that he would like to have us all over to his place again and fish the quarry. So we've got some cool things coming down in the calendar coming. Again, we always have our St. Louis Zoom meeting. You guys all got here, so you know the numbers. We also have Omaha. They're on the email as well, so you could check them out. Looking at the calendar again, second and fourth Thursday, North County Veterans Home. Walt's heading that up. That's during the daytime if you want to help out. Mondays are at JB. Tuesday's Zoom call for St. Louis. Thursdays are Omaha. This weekend is the sow bug roundup. I know Carl and I are going from St. Louis. Again, we could try to get more people next time. Bennett Springs State Park, the Vets Fish Free. That's always been a fun event in the past. That's April 20th. It will be a non-Project Healing Water event, but we will have a lot of Project Healing Water members there, and we'll still kind of represent the organization. We'll be there handing out tags. We'll have a table under the tent, and we'll be tying. So we'll still make sure we're all representing and getting our name out there. I think that's all I have for the email. So let me see where we're at on time. Cool, it's about 6:25, so we have plenty of time to talk, tie. I'll do the fly first, and then I'll do the dorsey indicator. So first thing I'll do is I will spotlight myself, and then I will change over the camera. So hopefully you can see this. This is a Parachute Adams. So what I plan on doing is, if you saw the email, see if I could put this way back here. Let me go bring the other camera back up. Sorry about that, but here we go. So we've got body cord here. I get this through Amazon. I think one of these rolls go for about 14 bucks. And this is a lifetime supply for all of us here. So if you ever want any of this material, please let me know. I don't even mind throwing it in an envelope and sending it out. If I give you like 3 feet of this stuff, it's going to last you forever, because I'll show you how you can break it down and different uses. I have it in orange, white. I even have a tan. I was hoping to use for like maybe fly bodies. I might even try that with one of these flies. But there's a lot of it. Now, if you want to buy stuff from the fly shop, you can. It's I forgot what they call it. It's like polypropylene. You could get a little packet of it. It'll cost you about $3-4 bucks, and you still make good post material on it. You just get a little bit that's good for maybe 50 flies. But if you want to save a couple bucks, just send me an email. I'll put it in an envelope, put a stamp on it, and get it to you. So, but I will show you a quick fly. Again, this is Parachute Adams. It's this little parachute white material is the body cord that I told you about. It's more for an indicator. While this is sitting flat on the surface like this, it's kind of hard to see. So you could use the white, and I think when I tie the next one, I will use the orange. Again, this is a very small fly. There's my thumb. If you cast this out 20, 30 feet, you might lose it in the water as it's drifting because you're going to have leaves and everything. And if you lose your concentration for a second, you'd be like, where'd it go? You really have to watch what you're doing with dry flies to look for that hit. So if you add a little bit of an orange to the post, it really helps you keep an eye. So I will start with this. One of the mistakes that I did where I showed everyone where I had these cool little trays, I did not mark them up. So this is, I think, a size 16 dry fly. That's all I've got. Now, the funny thing is, I don't know if you guys see this or not. I have my laptop to my left, and then I have the camera to the right, and they both have videos. On the Zoom call, it looks like this shank is very short, and then on the camera, it's a standard length where it's like at least 2, maybe 3. The shank is 2 to 3 times the hook gap, but on my other one, it looks like it's only 1. But it's a standard of just, if you're seeing where it looks short, it's not.
Can you change your aspect ratio on your camera?
That's what I'm going to have to figure out later. That's what I'll do tomorrow. Usually, like I said, Wednesdays are my days that I answer emails because Mondays are JB. Tonight is this. I want to spend a little time with family. So I will mess with that tomorrow. So, because it does, I don't know, does it look short to you guys or does it look, wondering which one you guys are seeing?
I know the
Looks pretty
jaws
short.
look elongated.
Yeah, okay, so then you are getting a short one.
Yeah, it
Where-
definitely looks short, Mick.
Okay, so yeah, because then I look at the camera and it looks right because I just the viewfinder. I
Yeah,
flip.
check your zoom resolution. You're probably set for something other than the 1900 by. You got a new display setting on your new camera or your new computer, so that's probably what it is.
I just got to mess with it, and I'll do that tomorrow. So, but it's a standard hook, so it's not like a short shank or something like that. The other thing I'm using is the Semperfly Nano Silk, where hopefully you can see it right there. Now the size I'm using, you can see the 18-aught. This stuff is extremely thin, but it is very strong. What I like about this, and this is black, I'm going to be using white. You put on very little material with this and it's super strong. You could crank on it. I know I could easily bend this hook with this very thin material, but great for dry flies because you're not going to bulk up your fly, and super strong. I want to one day see if I could. I know I can. I'm just not good at spinning deer hair, but I bet you I could do it with this 18-aught, which doesn't make sense. But here I'm just going to put a thread base down. Again, this is either a 16 or 18 hook. Now, when I cut this, this isn't silk or thread. If you try to cut it, as you can see, it frays. Let me try to do it. It frays. But I've learned if you just make the V and push through it, it cuts easier. But here, I will
I use a
put
scalpel, Mick.
scalpel's good. That's
Yeah.
coming up next. I've got that, and I'll show you what I use that for. So here I put one time I've gone back and forth just to put a thread base, and you can't even see that. So for this small of a hook, and I'm just kind of goofing around here, going back a third time where it's not even bulking up this hook, and now coming back fourth time. If you tried to do that with normal thread, you'd really be bulking that up. All right, body cord. Now that I have this, I'm going to show you how I prep with the body cord. Coming back with the other. So if you cut a little piece off like this, and I'm just going to cut that off so you have a little piece. And if you just kind of start twisting it in your fingers, you could kind of see it coming apart. And you could just start taking these little pieces out. I think I counted like 8 strands in the cord. So you could just start taking them out, and depending on the size of your fly, or that when I show you the dorsey indicator, you'll determine how many you want. For this fly, I only use half of one of those strips. And so I will show you real quick. I said I was going to do the orange, so I'll do that. So here's the normal strand. I'm only going to use half. So here's half. And I like to put the post on first because I always think the post is probably the hardest thing to get started. So if I'm going to do that, I want to put the post on before I have any other materials, and that way I could put the body right up to the post. So the way I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it flat. I put a couple loops there. So I know it's good. I'm going to try to really cinch this in because I'm not fearing too much of cutting through this body cord material. Now, you can do the post. A lot of people will try to put it up. Some people actually have a post thing, and they'll try to go horizontal like this. I think it's a whole lot easier if you just unloosen your hook from the vise, put it in a vertical like this, and then just wrap your post like this. Just wrapping it up just a little bit because this is where you're going to put feather later on. Once you get it where you want, I could put it back in. I'm going to do a couple figure 8s in here to really lock it in. But there's the post. I'm just going to bring it back a little bit. Now, if you wanted, you could actually use some of this body cord for the tail, but what I will be using is a couple of the strands of this brush I got. Kind of neat. You can almost see it where it's got black and clear and tan. Just try to pick off a few strands that has a little bit of each color. So just having one straight color, it's kind of neat to and I have a bunch of these. If Matt was on, you could hear him say, Mick promised me to get, and I forgot to bring him one. So he went and got it out, but I have a couple left. So again, I'm just going to measure how big of a tail I want. Try to get around that body cord. I'm going to lift up a little bit on those strands. That way it's staying on top. That looks like a good tail. I'll come back, take the excess material off, cut it.
Mick,
Sure.
would you make the tail the length of the gap in the hook?
I always go the length of the hook shank, but
Okay,
it is up to you on what you want. So if you, that looks like the short shank, but in real life, it's a little bit longer than what you guys are doing or seeing. But I always go for the length of the shank. So there, I have that pretty much where I want. Now you could use, some people use thread. I do like use dubbing. I ended up getting this cool pack, and it's from Hargroves. It's super fine dry fly dub. The cool thing is all the different colors. So I did a gray on the other one. I think I'm going to, let's do yellow. So let me get back to the video. All right. So again, with this, you just want to put a little bit of dubbing at a time. Just see, I have a little bit of a noodle here. Try to use that. If I need to do more, I'll bring more in. I'm just doing touching wraps. I think that's going to work perfect. Do a couple wraps in front. That's looking good. So decent little body there. Again, it's kind of blown up, but from a distance, it looks good if you don't have a magnifying camera. So where's my, now I'm using, oh, let me see. What grade is this? This was probably one of my first purchases when I started. I still have a few left from Metz Saddle Brown Natural #2. This one's been pretty picked through already. I'll use this. I had a cool looking midge pattern in gray, but it was too small. So I'm using this. So for the feather, you can see it says I'm looking to clean this out a little bit. Pluck that off so I've got the stem to tie into. Again, I'm gonna, for the second time now, rotate this down. It's a little bit easier to do this. You can see the feather stem coming in. Just gonna wrap that in. There. Now I'm gonna start doing touch and wraps. And crossed over. Keep this going down. And bring this to the base. Now the cool thing again with this thread, it is so thin that you're not going to build up a lot of bulk. All right. Oops, I don't want to do it that way. Hold on while I try to adjust this. Try not to get sick while I try to raise this camera up a little bit. Oh, still too much. All right. As we were talking about using a scalpel before, the fun stuff with this is, so if you try to use scissors right now to try to cut this extra hackle off, you might be cutting all the hackle you don't want to get rid of. This is where the scalpels do real good, because I could go through this. It doesn't cut anything. Even you can see the part that I'm trying, it won't cut anything because there's no pressure to it. When I grab this, now there's pressure to that. I can go right there, cut that off, and I haven't cut off a lot of my feathers And once I whip finish this, I'll show you that it still looks good from above. Let me just make sure I put this scalpel in. No, I'm going to do a quick whip finish. Scalpel out again for the thread. Cut it easy. Up so you can see it. Trim off parachute, but keep some there. Oops, you can't see it. You just see the top of it. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. If I get you guys seasick. If you wanted, I showed you guys a popsicle trick before. Having Velcro on, I put it on my Sharpie now. And if I wanted, I could just make that little poofy up there. Got a nice hackle. As you see, I didn't cut any of it because I used the scalpel to cut. Hook eye is still pretty. Got a little bit of the red there. It's fine now, no big deal. But hook eye isn't crowded. You could easily see the hook eye to tie. Nice little pattern for trout or bluegill coming up in the summertime now. And again, the main reason I was doing this was to show off the body cord. You could use it as a nice post material. Any questions on that? Say, call that good then. Oops. I will move the vise out. And I will now try to. Oops. You get this view again. All right, next thing we're going to do is the dorsey indicator. So this is what it looks like. I have it on the amnesia line right now, just so you could see it. The cool thing with this, if I can, without showing it, I could move this easy across from top to bottom. You can move it. It has grip to it, so if you try to cast, it's not going to move around. But as you see, you could adjust the height wherever you want. The new Oros indicators that we're using, and I like them too, but they're $3.50 a piece. And no, it won't break the bank, but when it breaks off and you're seeing it going down the stream, it is like, oh man, there went a $3.50 indicator. Again, with all the material that I have, you could do a bunch of parachute atoms and dorsey indicators. So I'll show you how easy it is to make these. And I will actually just pull this one off so I could use the line again. And I could actually use everything again. So with this one, all you're doing is getting several strands of the body cord, and you're just going to wrap it up with some thread. I'll use the same thread I used before. You can see I have black here so you can see it, but I would say depending on what you're trying to, what type of fly you're going to float this under will depend on how big of a dorsey indicator you need. I usually do small nymphs around 16 to 18, 5 to 6 strands. As I said, this is one big piece that you could strand out. And I'd say 5 to 6 out of the 8 will hold up a fly. But if you wanted, you could do a full 8 if you want to go a little bit heavier, or do several droppers off it. But again, I will show you how to do this. It's extremely simple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 6 strand. Got 2 here, white, orange, another white. We get a couple oranges. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, I'm just gonna do 7. Again, that's the cool thing is you do as many as you want. So I got them together. Actually, rotate this down so I could use my elbows. And the same thread that I was just using, I will just find the middle. I'll start pinching.
Move your hands up, Mick.
Oops, sorry, and wrap. Thank you. So all I'm doing is, you see, I'm putting a lot of wraps. Again, this Semperfly really doesn't take up any amount. And that's all you really got to do. After that, if you want a couple big half hitches, we'll lock that in. We're gonna grab some of the material, but that's okay. I think. So again, there's just the Semperfly, locked it in, pretty easy. So the next thing you're going to want is the orthodontic elastics. Luckily, sorry to say this, but I had a coworker that had jacked up teeth and had to get orthodontics for a long time, and she gave me a ton of these. So if you need some of these, I would be more than happy to send you a bunch of these too. But if you want, you could order these through Amazon. They're only $1 or $2. Different sizes. I think this is the 3/16 heavy. I would try to get medium. Heavy still works, but it's a little bit harder to use. You're trying to prevent what
feedback.com and save up to $1,000 on your complete bathroom remodel.
So here is with my black shirt. You can see a little bit of the orthodontic. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your line, your leader. You're just going to make a little loop there. And then get like a couple fingers in there. And with this, you'll have to try each one, you know, with different rubber bands will be, you know, if you do them medium, I think it took about 6 turns. With the heavy, I only did 3, and it was still a good lock. So now you can see that I got the loop and the rubber band. Now all you do is, here's a dorsey indicator that I just tied up, put it through the loop, and you just cinch it up. And now if you want to adjust this, again, it just slides up and down like that. But the one thing you want to do is, here's my Sharpie with the Velcro. I'm just going to fluff this up.
I usually trim them before I do that, Mick, so they're both sides are the same length.
Yeah, and that works, you know, because you can even see my one side is a little bit more than the other, but yeah, for aesthetics, and that's what, trust, we were all like that. We want it to look nice, so nice and even, but you do want to make it nice and fluffy. If you get a couple strands, somehow.
That's the same, basically, that's the same as the New Zealand.
Yep.
New Zealand then, right?
Yep, and I have some of that somewhere, but again, very expensive. Again,
This floats better. That dorsey indicator floats better.
It sure does.
and so again, it goes there. Now, the other thing, if you make a bunch of these, you know, make a bunch before you go, and so you have them ready to go. My suggestion, still, even though This floats just fine the way it is, and if it started getting a little waterlogged, a couple back casts, and it's good to go. Watershed. If you put this on, but it's a permanent water sealant. But with this, it's not like Loon. You have to put this on and let it dry for like 24 hours. If you could remember to make a bunch of these, put this on, you never have to worry about it trying to get waterlogged or soak. It just will float all day long. And so these indicators work really good. So I was kind of stating before, if you have the Oros, they're nice. They work like champs, especially those extra small ones right now. I really do like those. But when I was at Bennett a couple weeks ago, it was real windy, so the water was choppy. So I'd be watching my indicator just kind of bouncing around. And at times I wasn't sure if I was getting a hit or not. They really had to pull the indicator under, or you had to see a big hesitation where you're like, okay, it's a fish, try to set. There were several times if you try to set every time you thought you had a fish, you'd be setting every 2 seconds. What I like about these will move along with any ripples in the water, but since there's no air, this isn't like a closed cell foam or plastic. When they pull it, it goes under and there's no air to bring it back up. So if you see this cruising along, when you get the indicator, it's gone, which makes it real easy, especially if you have new participants. You're trying to show them how to indicator fish. Some of they hit so light with those Oros, especially if you use the small, you think, oh, they're good enough. They float too well. And you might be missing something, but with these, they're easy to see. It's much larger than an Oros for sure. So this is really sticking out. You could change the colors. You could do orange, white, or just, combination. And this is big. And so you could easily see this. It holds up a lot. Super cheap. And you could easily fish this for the entire weekend on one fly, or actually one indicator that costs you pennies. So
Did you bring your jar of water so we could see it in the water yet?
I got this and I'm going to cut it, but I don't have a clear glass and I'm supposed to do that.
You don't have to now. I'm just wondering.
Oh, it's sinking. Look at it.
You
Oh,
got
well,
a fish on.
again,
Set the hook.
yeah, basically this amnesia line is 30-pound test. So it's trying to float, but that's a lot of weight behind it. Well, that kind of didn't work out right. Way to go, Lee. Tail liar.
Well, so
Sorry, I
much for
told on
that
you.
idea.
Yeah, well, yeah. Go buy the Oros. Nice, extra small, and small will do just fine. But if you work with that, it's fine. Amnesia
Or you
lines.
can, if you don't want to do that, you can just learn how to see when the fish strikes by watching your line like I've been doing for 70 years.
Yeah, that works too.
That's crazy.
It's hard and it can be done. That's what they did in the past. But it works. So, well, we got through. Let me get rid of my spotlight and get back to the Brady Bunch view. Any questions on anything I did?
No.
Cool. So, trying to think of something to tie next week. If there's anyone that wants a tie, if there's anyone who has something they want to see. Waiting for John to say there's an obscure fly that I'm going to make Mick tie.
I want to do a mouse.
Don't ask John. Don't ask John.
Hey,
Yeah.
we can do a Frankenfly.
What about a mouse?
You want to do a
No,
mouse?
I'm not going to volunteer to do anything, nor am I going to volunteer a new fly. I got too much static the last time.
Walt wants to do a mouse, so we'll have Walt tie a mouse. Now it's gonna, do you use deer hair, or give me an idea of, so I can kind of send out a recipe so if people want to tie along. I don't know if you use foam.
Roger, what belly of a deer hair, I guess?
Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I
Belly
got-
hair.
Yeah, belly hair is the best. And
And,
Belly,
use some,
did we use?
dumbbell weights for eyes, you know, black on white or whatever
Yeah.
color you want, red, whatever you think fits your
Uh,
mouse.
number two hook, but we can do it on a safety pin that you put on your hand if you want.
yeah, if you want to do that, because it's that's another thing that I think Frank and I already talked about this. Something cool coming down the line. I just so happen to be at the Cabela's near my house. I pass it every day going to and from work. Finally, the fly shop they have in there actually has good material now. For the longest time, it was just horrible. So I
Oh,
was
did they?
talking to the guy that was there, and it is good stuff now at Cabela's. And so I was talking to him, found out his name was Bill, found out from Frank that he used to work at Feathercraft. Super nice guy. And there was a Project Healing Water poster in the area. So I introduced him to myself, said I was a program lead. He goes, I've been looking for you guys. And I guess at one time, I don't know when, I don't remember ever doing it before. They would invite us to tie, bring out a table and tie right in front of the entrance. And so he's going to offer that again. So I have to get one of those nice cool table toppers that have Project Healing Waters and everything, and see if I could get a nice banner for us behind us. But he even said they would go as far as when they had their big Veteran Days, 4th of July, that they would have us out there tying, and would love to showcase us, and good way to get some funds in that way as well. And they said they would give us a discount on stuff as well. So it's kind of neat, something that we could do. So I will be in contact with Bill and his manager and see if that's available for us. But I think that'd be kind of fun time, especially when I know they have Veteran Days where veterans get a discount. It'd be kind of neat to show.
Okay, so the stuff that you're gonna need is deer hair, obviously.
Yeah.
We could use either a number two stainless steel hook,
Okay.
or a nice
Safety pin.
safety pin. Then you could use the ears, which are, Roger, do you have any of that I gave you the other day? Okay. What I did was I took a punch and I punched out leather ears. Also what I did was I made a punch with was that a 9mm?
Yep,
45.
9.
Okay, so I made punches out with a casing that I took down from St. Louis. I picked them up off the ground.
I was going to say, one hell of a punch.
Okay, and then the ears are made out of leather, like I said. And the eyeballs are ball bell. Plus, we have a tail,
Cool.
which is just a piece of little leather strapping that I got from whatever you want to make a tail with, like shoestring even. Okay.
Or you can cut a thin strip out of some foam.
The yarn that we use is the Roger, what's the name of that yarn?
UTC 210.
The string, the thread that we use is
Just anything. I mean, whether you want to use GSP or whatever, you're
GSP would
spinning
work.
the hair, so you want something that's pretty strong, you're comfortable with,
GSP works real good. Doesn't break. That's basically it. It takes
I
about
frequently have made the ears out of 1mm foam as well. If you don't go buy leather, anything that either thin leather or foam, works fine.
Cool. All right, you're gonna teach us how to do deer hair.
It should take, what would you say, Roger? No more than 15 minutes?
Yeah,
That's
around
pretty good
15
for-
minutes or so at least to
Yeah.
put one together.
I'll make sure you go first before I go anything with emails or anything like that, because I know some of these could go almost an hour if you're doing spinning deer hair. So I'll give you all the time that you need.
Yeah, it's spinning the hair and getting all that on there. What gets to be taking time, and the other thing that really helps is a pair of curved bladed scissors and trimming the hair down to the actual mouth shape after you got it all on the hook.
Also,
We
Yeah,
usually
hair-
make it
serrations
to
help.
veterans home to give away, and we tie them on a not bobby pin, a safety pin, and then trim them off so that they can then pin the mouse on their hat, shirt, whatever.
Very cool.
also a hair packer that you should have.
Yeah, that helps
Hmm.
significantly. Walt, these work great. Walt's
Yep.
found a good source, yeah.
Once
What are those?
Walt showed me it's hair packers, so basically I just turned off my camera, but it'll show you that once you put deer hair in, you need to kind of pack it towards the end. So it has that little groove where you could go over. Let me see if I can get the camera up again.
Who made it?
We bought them.
You, okay, place in New York, which is, it's in Watertown, it's in Gloverville, New York. And they were really inexpensive. If you go around here, you're gonna spend an arm and a leg. But
Gloverville,
Yeah.
New York?
the guy in New York, if you call him tomorrow, you'll have him in a couple of days.
Yeah,
Yes.
Gloversville
They
is
were
down
only
the
like
southern
six,
tier in
$7
the
or
Catskills.
something, I think.
What's the name of it, John? The place in Gloverville, New York, it's called, I'm sorry, I'm having a senior moment. I can't remember the name of it.
I know that
found-
feeling, Walt.
I'm sorry?
I know that feeling.
Scott, help me out.
I'm trying to think, and I can't. I'm having a senior moment with you, Walt. What can I say?
Yeah, there's
You
no
can find
name
it
on
on
the tool.
Amazon. I found mine on Amazon.
What's
okay.
it
Got a
called?
link.
It's just a hair packer.
Hair packer?
Yeah, deer hair packer. And so let me see where my. So basically, you can see the hook. You're trying to pack the hair on. This would go over the edge, as you can see there, and you could pack the hair. As you put it on, you want to get it nice and tight. It's got that groove. You can see right there, even holds over the eye. You could pack it in there, because the one thing that if you try to do it, bring it down, so you got that barb right there. Everyone that I know that ends up trying to pack hair will be doing this, and all of a sudden the thumb goes in there and they've got a nice red shade on their fly. With this, it's got this cool knurled metal where even if you do kind of slip, you know, it's really hard to kind of, it gives you a lot of things. So if it does slip, you're going to miss it. So it won't be 100% sure to keep you from getting hurt, but it is a nice packer.
I
So
recommend
Gloverville, New York. Gloverville.
Gloverville.
Gloversv, Victor.
Okay, Gloversville. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I mean, I want to learn how to make deer hair packed flies.
Yeah, I'm checking.
I would recommend probably that you make the first one you make is make it on a safety pin, and you can work your way up to a hook. Wouldn't you, Roger?
Okay.
Yeah, it gives you just a nice shank to work with, you know, same as if it was a hook without wasting a hook or having to cut it back off if you don't like the way it turns out, just chuck the safety pin and
So,
Okay.
okay, that's what we're gonna do then next week.
Yep, you're doing a mouse.
Yes.
All right,
Since I'm
so
a senior citizen, would you call me, Mick, next Monday and remind me?
yes, I will. Hopefully I'll see you Monday at JB and I'll give you your first reminder then.
Oh,
All right, so I don't want to hold you guys much longer. We're already 5 minutes past the hour. You know, we're having fun, but I want you to get back to your families. So if you guys need anything, holler. I won't get on check emails tonight. I'm gonna go spend time with family. But I will look for emails and respond to anything tomorrow. If you guys need anything, still probably the easiest way is to text me. Because now with my new job at Boeing, I'm not in a locked room until this Thursday, where I could check texts and I could usually get back real quick. Phone calls are still a little bit hard at work, but texts are easy if you need to get hold of me. So that's all I got, and I will see Carl soon over the weekend, but I'll see some of you guys come Monday at JB, if not this time, tomorrow, next week. So you guys have a good evening. If you need anything, holler, okay? You guys take care.
I don't.
Bye.
Tight lines,
Bye,
all.
everybody.
Guidelines, be careful.